Hello there. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. The live show discussion topics include anything you feel is newsworthy about anti-racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America today. Since that's pretty much everything, you can talk about anything you want. Tough Love, hello. Welcome. Just getting started today. Nice to have you. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Hope things are going great. The show is meant to be an opportunity for speaking your mind and telling me what you think. It's also to serve as an educational tool in cultural competency with a focus on learning the truth about systemic racism and our real racial history. And I speak to white people on this show, hoping to educate them. It would be, pretty damn arrogant for me to do anything other than that, and ignorant, and a few other choice words. I love everyone to come to the show, but as a white person, I speak to white people. I do not, let's just say, I am not a savior of any sort, definitely not, nor am I some hero for getting my picture on Facebook. In fact, that's a whole long story we won't even talk about. But I appreciate you being here. And I have a couple announcements, and then I'll do a quick rant, and then we can get on to topics because there's so much to talk about. Unfortunately, in my mind, in an ideal world, we wouldn't be talking about any of this stuff because it would be a moot point. It would be solved. It would be overdone. It would be something we learn about in some old dusty history book, like when we learn about, I don't know, the Dark Ages. Just people thinking, wow, how could people be like that, you know? Yet here we are in 2021. Hey, T, thanks for being here. I've sadly learned in the last probably 6 years more about human nature than I've ever wanted to. And it's not good. And that means, it just means that people like me need to step up to the plate even more. If I get to one white person, just one person, and make them understand the society that we are living in and what they can do to help themselves, because you see, systemic racism is not good for anybody. White folks just don't seem to get that. Some do, but not even close to enough. It's not good for us either. We just don't get it. We've been played the fool. But for some reason, we're really, really okay with it. I don't get it. I speak the truth. The truth can hurt. I do not mean to be hurtful. I mean to be factual, historical, and just kind of real. GETV, welcome. Thank you for being here. I want to always, as always, start by thanking people who have sent me breaking news. I can't keep up. And since, Michelle, hello. I like your cute little Michelle, little icon guy, girl, very cute. I can't keep up with the news. I don't know if you can, but I sure can't. There's too much going on. It's just really, really almost too much. I've posted above where you can reach me for personal messages. If you have a story to tell, if you want to talk about your own story, or you think there's something I should know that I'm missing, which of course is probably a lot at this point. And I have, for after the rant, a telephone number. You're welcome to call in. I ask people to keep the comments to less than 5 minutes, if it's okay. But I love having people call in. But some people are kind of shy, so they don't really do it. But so let's get going. This week, this has been an interesting week. I'm very, very happy and thankful to so many people who are here. Because 3 days ago, one of my videos that meant so much to me, because I felt like it was one of the most real upfront things, it kind of blew up, and I'm thrilled to say it's getting close to 4,000 hits on YouTube, which is good for me in a couple days. I put it up months ago, no comment. I'm just happy because that means people are getting the information. What they do with it, I have no control over, of course. But GETV News 1, tough words for your fellow Americans should know. Yeah. I mean, yeah. This is not, I'm not going to kid anyone. If you are a white person and you're still listening, that's freaking amazing. Because in our culture, we are just taught, indoctrinated, shoved, pushed, dragged into believing this is perfectly normal. Systemic racism? What? What are you talking about? It's just culture. It's not. Yeah, no, this is not normal. This is not the way life's supposed to be. Not even close. I'm sorry. It just isn't. And so if you are a white person listening, you are going to have to suck it up. And yeah, your feelings are going to be hurt. But you see, here's the thing. I'll say it twice. Maybe I will. Systemic racism is not about you and I. It is not about an individual. It's not about us. Okay. It's about something that has happened and been happening and still happening in our society that we were born into, that we need to be very, very aware of. We need to educate ourselves about so that we can step up to the plate and act like a freaking human. Okay. And I don't mean that rudely, but I mean that factually. It is not normal to have a society like this. I'm sorry. It's not. It's inhumane. And a lot of people think, oh, angry soccer mom, you just do this to get attention. If you only knew how shy I am. Nope. I do it because I can't stand the injustice. I can't stand just watching it. I can't. It's disgusting to me. And rant over. That was even my rant, but hey, I get on a rampage. Ramses, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you. GTV, it seems that your government doesn't want people to vote anymore with all those bills flying around. Oh, so true. And that is incredibly, incredibly un-American. And you might say it's incredibly American because, see, our ideology and actuality is about 10,000 miles away. All right. What we're supposed to be doing is upholding the Constitution as it's been rewritten and changed over time. But oh no, some of us have forgotten that. Some of us just don't care. Some of us just don't get it. And some of us are probably just too busy trying to make ends meet to even give a shit. I don't know. And some of us are probably racist as fuck. I don't know. Whatever your reasoning is for not caring about your fellow humans and your own, which ultimately comes down to your own human and civil rights. Okay. Like you think that our group's not next, please. When you're watching somebody get abused, which is what I believe systemic racism is, it's abuse over time. It's an ongoing crime against humanity. You really think that you're not next? Please. It's unbelievable. It's like open up a book. I don't know what to say, but we are next. And GETV, oh so true. That's kind of what my rant's about. This week I did a very, very difficult video to do. Ronald, welcome. Thank you for being here. Yay. For me personally, it's incredibly vile and depraved, and it's a practice that took place. Probably not in all 50 states. It was not widespread. It can't be. But young little Black children were taken, kidnapped, borrowed, paid for, all the different versions I've heard, and used to catch crocodiles and alligators for profit. It shouldn't be a shock to anybody. All right. Now, a lot of people have a really hard time with that. And I get that. A lot of people have a really hard time with even admitting that we have systemic racism and it was the basis of our country and our nation and all that. I mean, so why in the hell would they believe that sick, depraved thing? But I did a video in about maybe like 2.5 years ago. I put a video out and I got so much shit for it. People are like, you're a liar, you're this, you're that. And so this year I put a similar video out just this week, but this time I added the anecdotal proof and the primary source proof and the secondary source proof and any country that likes to lynch and burn other humans for sport and then go and celebrate it is inherently evil. Yeah, I mean, do not for one, thank you, T, thank you. Do not for 1 second underestimate the depths. This is extremely important. The sheer depths of hatred and inhumanity we as white folks, not you personally as a white person, no, I'm not, I don't know you, have done to our fellow humans. Okay, we've made every excuse there is. We've come up with stuff I can't even, any excuse to do this. And so, right, think about, and I will be making a video on that. I had a really hard time. Some of them are harder for me to make than others. Emmett Till it took me 3 years to do an Emmett Till video. This one, I put the proof. I'm done even talking to people who are saying, oh, that's not true. It's just, you know what? Go open a book. I don't even know what to say. It is really hard to handle, but it's the truth. So what are you gonna do? All right. GETV. Why can't your previous government administration be graceful and admit defeat instead of acting like a child and having a tantrum every day? Hell, if I would ever speak for him. I don't know. He has some serious issues. Obviously, many serious issues. I've come full circle. At first, I just wanted him out of our lives. That was kind of my hope, I guess. Now I want him. I think the only chance for this nation to move on is to have him punished, as in, basically found guilty of whatever crimes, not made up crimes, whatever crimes they can legally hold on him. He is a con man, a swindler, a corrupt person. He was always like that. He hasn't changed a bit. We as Americans allowed this to happen. Some more than others. How can I say that? Carried back. Hello, yay. Because he's a child, experts who've studied him say that his emotional development stopped at around age 8, which I completely could see. I don't think it even takes, normally I always stick with the professionals with that, but it's so obvious. And I've read that a number of times too. Hey, thanks for being here. It's really scary. We knew who he was. I won't get too into this because I get on a rant. About, oh goodness, somewhere around when he decided to run. I admit, I really didn't follow politics before he ran that much. I just didn't. I followed social issues, applied behavioral sciences was my major, multi-ethnic communities and all that. So I didn't really focus on politics per se, but he pushed the politics. So now I follow politics. Boo hiss. Never wanted to. Anyway, when he first started running, I was like, wait, isn't that really jerky guy that is kind of rude to people and fires them on some TV show? That is literally what some rich guy. I knew nothing. So I thought I better know something. This guy, everyone up on the stand is scared of him, up on the Republican, the candidates. Yeah, remember that one at the very beginning, there were tons of Republican candidates for presidency in 2016, 2015. And I thought, I could tell everyone's really scared of this guy. What the hell? Maybe because he's really rich? No, there's a lot of really rich. I didn't know why. Now I know why, because he's very corrupt. So what I did was I went to my little phone and I looked up his name. The first thing that came up was the Central Park 5. And I was like, what? And I was like, damn. And I read like 4 articles on it. And I said, oh my God, we are so screwed. That's what I said kind of out loud. My kids weren't in the room, no worries. But yeah. So yeah. Let me see here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so I can see. Let me see. Oh, T. Yeah, the alligators eating kids on the postcard thing. I have no words. Right. I didn't mean to skip you, T. Yes. And if you saw my second proof video, I had to proofread proofread it and edit it. And oh my God, I was like trying to be very like stoic about it because I was losing it. Just anyway, long story, enough about me. GETV. Oh, we hear that CRT Caucasians don't want to be reminded about this racial past bigotry thing. What's wrong with your people? Well, first of all, I never really call them my people. My people wouldn't do that. My people, I don't know why. I was indoctrinated just like everyone else about, in white supremacy. But my people are people who have hearts of gold. Whatever shade they come in, albeit is whatever. That's who my people are. Yes, I am a white person We made up white. White's made up. It's made up so that we can harm people. I don't know what other words to call it. My people, what's wrong with them? Hell if I know. I don't get it. That's why I'm here today talking about it, trying to educate them. I don't know. I have no answers. But something's very, very wrong. I'll say it one more time, like I almost always say, in America, we have a white person problem. Sorry, it's the truth. I love white people. I love all people. But I love all people who are not like cruel and evil and inhumane. And so that's kind of the bottom line. So we have a white person problem. The dominant culture will tell you that we have a black and brown person problem, which is a bunch of bullshit. It's a lie. But it's a lie that's pushed and pulled and fed, and it's just so, it's everywhere. Just little hints everywhere teaching us that white is right and black and brown people are to be blamed for everything, and it's absolutely ludicrous. The problem we have in America is white culture, whatever that is, whatever you define that as. That's the problem. How do I know this? Because if we didn't have a problem with white culture, being the numerical majority group, we wouldn't have systemic racism embedded in every single area of life in 2021. And not looking like it's going to get much better, looking like it's going down. So that's how we know. Because people who are in the numerical majority in the United States are supposed to be the ones who lead and get their way. Well, we aren't getting our way. Our way is racist. How do I know this? I'll say it one more time. Because we still have it. I don't know what to say. Although you know I will. Okay. T. Rogers. T. You can't handle the truth. Oh, I forgot that movie was what that movie's from, but that's a lot what I think about. They know it's inhumanity. They can't handle it. Yeah, absolutely. We cannot handle I guess it's something about like introspection. I don't know why our whiteness is so connected to our self-esteem. I don't really get that. We didn't do anything. How hard did you work to get born white? Hello? You didn't. And like I like to say, and people hate me for it, but hey, if the best thing you ever did in your life is to be born white, please do some introspection, take some time and think about what's good about you and what's wonderful about you. And maybe you had a bad childhood. I don't know. Maybe you were raised with horrific bigotry and racism. But there comes a time in people's lives where they have to say, you know what? I had a really shitty childhood. You know what? My parents were racist as fuck. But you know what? I have something that it's a gift to humans. It's called the ability to use critical thinking skills, open up a book and read. I have the ability to have fear, but say, you know, that doesn't really make sense. To be afraid like an animal and not act on it. To be logical. Let's use our human God-given abilities and think. These are our fellow humans. And you can't use that mommy and daddy were mean to me excuse very long. Because see, you're most people like now that are listening are like a grown-up now. And you do not have to stay inhumane. And that's what upholding or doing nothing to dismantle systemic racism in our society means. And it is not just being nice to everybody. That whole thing was stolen from Martin Luther King Jr. and taken by white folks to mean we can ignore color. And I don't see color, and don't even get me started. Okay, so let's keep going here. Let me see. Yeah, Carry back. When I watch him speak and act, I kind of notice that. Oh, let me just see here. Billy, welcome. Thank you for being here. Teach them. I'm trying. T, we don't have a black and brown person problem. They have a problem with black and brown people. Absolutely. And the reason I always say that, it sounds like, oh, I'm just trying to, I get comments like, you're just trying to be divisive. No, I'm not. I'm trying to make people think. I'm trying to make people go, why why is she saying that? Or, oh, maybe they'll get mad at me. Oh, wow, she's a real, you know what, whatever. Or, oh, and get pissed. And then they think to themselves, why is she saying that? Maybe even if it's later, maybe they'll hear someone else say it. Maybe it'll just come to them. But see, our society is very, very powerful in its indoctrination. And it indoctrinates Black and brown people pretty damn well too. Okay. And it's sick as hell. You know, all that. Well, I won't get into it, but I mean, it's unbelievable. It's very easy to fall for this indoctrination. You're born into it. You think it's just natural. No, there is nothing natural about being cruel and inhumane to our fellow humans. And people tell me that all the time. Oh, there'll always be that. Sure, there might always be this kind of ideology where you want to be better than others, but systemic racism, that's purposefully done. It's a setup. It's not an accident. Every single thing is on purpose. And the more you get into it, and it's a very, very, very steep continuum for white people, the more you'll realize, damn, we as white people purposefully created poverty, a generational cycle of poverty in the inner city areas in each state. We did that on purpose through redlining and a number of other very, very purposeful, legal things. And the police are the gatekeepers of all this systemic racism. Started off as slave patrols in the South. The culture has morphed, but it really hasn't changed much. Okay. And that is part of why you have to know your own racial history. If you're a white person, white people don't even want to think of themselves as white. It's like if you say the word white, they get offended because see, we're just the norm. We're just, you know, we're just normal. Like, you know, everyone else is the other. Well, that's how we think. And we have to stop thinking that way. And that's why I say we have a white person problem, because it shocks people a little bit because it's true. And nobody says it, but I do. So what can I say? Okay, blah. I'm blabbing. Kitchen politics. Oh my gosh. I hope you're still here. Heading out to work. Have a great kitchen politics. I miss you. I hope you're doing great. Kitchen politics is my friend. He used to call in all the time. And now he is working so hard, doing amazing things. And he moved. And I hope you're doing great if you're still here. Let me see. Oh, quick shout out to my friend Tim. Sent me chocolates. I'm going to kill him. He is now officially in charge of my new diet. And yeah, thanks, Tim. Thanks for that. I mean, thank you, Tim, for the chocolates. They're lovely. I know they were probably for my child. However, I opened them first. And okay, I won't get into it, but a little shout out to Tim. Thanks, Tim. Now, okay, nothing. I won't say anything. I love chocolate. Sorry, just saying. Okay, next. Let's see. Who is there? GETD. It seems that my last ex-president is acting like the Frankenstein monster created by his father that made him this way. Yes. Oh, that's actually a pretty good analogy. Yeah. He's definitely, anything he does can be tied back to being an inhumane, bigoted, racist, misogynistic, like inhumane person. It's unbelievable. I've tried to pick something, like just anything that just doesn't trace back to that, but oh no, kind of all does. But yeah, it's true. Let me see. Carried back. Thank you. Open Bob. The stream looks amazing today. The quality is great. Oh, good. I think part of that is I didn't hook up anything else to it. Normally I try to put no videos, just me blabbing and phone calls, of course, after my little rant. But thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know why. Sometimes it gets kind of iffy, but thanks for being here, Open Bob. Robert, thank you. I'm so happy you're here. I'd love to have you call in if you can, or write and let me know what you think. I've been following Robert for a very long time, and you have so much to say and so much, very, very, lots of wisdom. So thank you for being here. Dave, welcome. Dave says, more states, including Arkansas, ban critical race theory. I hope there will be some resistance to it. I predict that most red states will. And yeah, we talked in depth about critical race theory last time. And my definition of critical race theory because people are like, what is that? It's called our real racial history. Okay, that's what it's called. I'm sorry. I've read 7 or 8 different definitions, and what they're talking about when they say critical race theory is the truth. And we've already whitewashed it as much as we can in many, many states, most states. And now they want to make it illegal. It's like Jim Crow 2.0 on steroids. This is, I don't know, I don't want to be the soothsayer of doom, but I'm really, really not thinking that things are going well. I'm not one of those people who has to be right. I promise you. I wished that, Biden coming in would do something, but at this point, like I said before, it might be too late. I don't know. It seems like it's too late, but anyway, don't listen to me. Keep hope. Yay. I have to be honest. I'm just like, I can't really lie very well. So damn it. It's a curse. Don, hello. I hope you're feeling great. And feeling better. Don had a bunch of stuff going on medically, so he hasn't been around too much, but thrilled to have you. Don says, we're being marginalized. Fox News hosts explode at black people trying to take down the white culture. White culture decree. Suggested racism has been solved because, oh God, no, yes, I know. That is, okay, sorry. The decree, trying to take down the white culture decree suggesting racism has been solved because former President Barack Obama is a black man. Okay, that is, thank you, Don. That's under the classic cliche denials of racism. It's top 10, absolutely. We had a black president. Well, you know what? That's really lovely and everything. And I'm glad we had a black president. That's great. But you see, racism is very complex. It's not simple like that. It's a system, right? You can have a black president and still have horrific systemic racism embedded in every system of every way, of people's lives. I'm sorry. We have a supposed democratic republic, more like an oligarchy that's turning into a dictatorship. But great point, Don, of course. Of course. Yeah, that's a classic cliche. Yeah, that's it. The main ones that are like 1, 2, and 3 are, slavery ended. So, oh yeah, that's when all hell started breaking loose. Yeah, you really think that one day the government's going to tell people, oh, those people that you deemed non-humans and were using and abusing and doing sick and vulgar, barbaric things to, they're now humans. And they're going to go, okay, no. So, yeah, right. Let me see. Dave, thank you. Colonel Don is here. GETV. How can you treat inhumane people like humans? It seems that it's in your nature to act like barbarians at the gate. Let me read that one more time. How can you treat inhumane people? Maybe reword that. What do you mean? I'm not 100% sure exactly what you're saying. I don't want to guess. So just tell me more. Open Bob. Oh, Kamala made a Trump-style racist speech in Guatemala. Shake my head. Yeah. Damn. I know. I'm gonna have to do kind of like my own speech. I was wrong about her, I guess. I have no words. I do not get it. Let me see here. Yeah, it just blew me. Yeah. T. I hate when they call it a theory. It's not a theory. It's the truth. Right. Exactly. That's why I really, the whole theory thing, I totally agree with you, T. It's like the theory of evolution, stuff like that. It's like, to be honest, it's the best science from 99.99999 ever continuing on to, 100%. repeating and repeating that we have over the generations and years of every scientist who's spent their entire life. I mean, these are things that are the best practice of our time. And every day we get more and more evidence. The whole racism thing, it's just so convenient to pretend, well, it's just a theory. Seriously, please. That's a joke. It's just makes it so we can kind of like, pretend maybe like we cannot believe in it. It drives me crazy too. Open Bob. And you're talking about, did you watch the buck breaking video? Okay. I have in my past, and I will be doing a video on it myself. That's the one video I can't bring myself to do. I gotta I do this a lot, and I want to be in for the long haul. So certain things just hit me. Some things I'll do a video on this or that or whatever. And I'm like, I can stay really detached for a while, but stuff like that it's depraved and barbaric. And so I promised myself that this year I was going to do a video on the truth. I mean, the absolutely ugly. I mean, I do the truth. Don't get me wrong. I do already do the truth. But what I mean is the truth that nobody wants to talk about. And it's not to upset people. Like, I'm not trying to be, Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you turn off your radio in the back and welcome to the show?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm doing better, thanks. I'm still not 100%, but I'm coming along. So thank you so much.
Colonel Don. Yahoo. Welcome. What's up?
Oh, I was going to chat with you a minute about some of the things that you're going over here on your show. Mm-hmm. Is now a bad time?
This is perfect. No, you know what? I'm going to do a rant later, but I'm just blabbing on and not getting to it. I'd much rather take comments and questions, and I can always it's more of a talk. This is a perfect time. Thanks, Don. What's up? Tell me.
I was just going to go over the comment that I had made about the Fox News thing. It tied in with critical race theory because they never defined it. All they did was what is kind of typical for them. They'll identify something and they get the catchphrase, and because they don't understand it, they immediately vilify it and think it's something negative. And so they were talking this nonsense about everybody should just read their Bible because you should love your neighbor as yourself, and that Barack Obama's election proved that racism is over. As far as they're concerned, they went very further. Well, if it's so over, why are they afraid of critical race theory? And
it's just history, right?
Are they in such a hurry to bury the past with anything that reflects a negative light on them? So the way forward out of the darkness is to shed the light on those things that have happened that are not complementary and need to be processed through so that everybody has a level playing field of understanding of what happened, what its intent, what its meaning was, how it evolved into the systemic racism that we have right now, and what we can collectively do to try and eradicate that. Sweeping, as you know, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, sweeping all of this stuff under the rug doesn't accomplish anything.
Absolutely not. Because if we're sweeping it all under the rug, like anything else, if we want to understand the problems we're having today, we must look at history and understand what went on to understand what's happening today. Otherwise, we're just making up stuff, which is kind of what Fox News does. Great points.
It's worse than just making up stuff. They're emotionally perpetuating the propaganda lie with regard to, now it's extended. So there's the big lie with regard to the election. There's this other big lie with regard to the elimination, allegedly, of racism, when it's clearly front and center on Front Street with regard to all of the teachings that the former administration was advocating, with all of their cabinet appointments, their policies, their
right.
Legislation, everything was in alignment with it. Even the appointment of the Supreme Court justice that they force-fed into that system and they are believers in the origin, which is called the origin of the Constitution theory, which means that they don't abide by the amendment. So the original construct of the Constitution said that a black person was only 3/5 of a person.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to go by now, instead of the amended part that made everybody, as the preamble said, everyone created equal, we're endowed by our creators, took unalienable rights.
Forming a more perfect union. Yes, going towards humanity, not away. Yeah. Don, one thing that strikes me every time I hear somebody of that ideology speak is it's all code. They know exactly what they're doing. They are absolutely full of shit. What they mean to say is we're white supremacists and we aren't going to stop doing what we're doing. We'll do whatever it takes. It's so transparent.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And that's what the America First slogan is. It's a Ku Klux Klan slogan that came out of the early 1900s.
Nazi.
In that period when Trump's grandfather was arrested being involved in a KKK rally in New York. And he had to have known about that. And yet when he was asked about it, he kept trying to claim that he didn't know anything about the KKK and that he didn't know anything about David Duke. And
his parents were Klan.
They found video.
Yeah.
They found video of him from years ago talking about David Duke.
Well, and his parents were Klan too. I mean, the father at least.
Yes, the father, Fred Trump, was heavily involved in white supremacy activity as well.
Yeah, he was arrested at a Klan meeting in full garb, and Vice News proved that years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I know it's crazy. Yeah. Great points. I appreciate your input and hoping to get you back on here when you feel better, when you're feeling up to it.
Yes, ma'am.
But
you got any questions for me while I'm on?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, here, I'll ask you a question while I got you here, while I've stolen you away. What do you think about, and I hate to ask this, and I don't want to make you speculate because, we want this kind of thing, we want to be wrong. But what are your hopes for our democratic republic or our oligarchy or whatever you want to call this thing we are sliding into in the twilight of our democracy, clearly, when half the party is purposely trying to stop voting? What do you think? I mean, we're going down, huh?
It's an absolute abomination that Senators Manchin and Sinema are in opposition to the Vital Voting Rights Act. I mean, to think that they are comparing apples and oranges, and you can't get to one without the other. The voting rights has to come first, not this false equivalency with saying that saving the filibuster is essential to saving bipartisan legislation. McConnell is the leader of the actively involved Republican legislation right now, and he and all of their quote-unquote leadership, even though they're really followers of the Führer, are basically parroting what Trump wants them to do, which is to sabotage this at any way, shape, or form, and every point.
Yeah. Trump's in charge.
Because
I believe Trump's in charge.
It's immediately going to undermine the manipulation that they've been doing in the voting process. There are over 400 bills that are going on across the nation that are doing some type of voter suppression activity.
Yeah, that's what my rant's about today. That's what my rant's about. Yep. Absolutely.
The only progress that's really been made in the last few months is that it's gone from 70% Republicans to 30% Republicans that believe that Trump won and that Biden is the one who's the false president. And it's amazing because they're the ones who sabotaged the postal system, who did everything, who refused to approve any legislation that would disavow and make illegal any foreign interference. So they had foreign interference from Russia trying to manipulate all of the media outlets. By the way, one of the things that they're doing right now is purchasing as many cable company outlets as they can so that they can feed the hard right propaganda into these networks, so that people won't even realize that they're being programmed and brainwashed with the subtle entities and not so subtle entities of the commercials and other programming activity.
Very dangerous.
Basically teaches a white supremacist agenda.
Very, very dangerous. Well, we're definitely going backwards. I mean, I don't even, on so many levels, it's unbelievable. We're going backwards.
You're absolutely right. The Fuhrer took us a minimum of 50 years backwards in terms of progress on civil rights. And he has weaponized and vilified the process by which fair and equitable treatment can go forward in the judicial system by corrupting all of the hard right judges that he put in at a record pace.
Yep.
The Biden administration is trying to do that now. People have criticized the DOJ for still having a protection mode in there for a lot of the sinister things that were done by the previous administration.
Mm-hmm.
But the daunting task that Merrick Garland has is that Trump so poisoned the well so thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
You already know the story about how that he had filled the Secret Service staff that protected the president and vice president with MAGA hat wearers so thoroughly that all of them had to be replaced
mm-hmm.
before Biden and Harris were sworn in.
For safety, if nothing else.
The same,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. They weren't interested in protecting their safety.
Yeah.
So the same thing has happened within the DOJ in that there are still a whole bunch of holdovers from the poisoning that the Trump administration did by inserting all of these hard right not legislatures, but judicial appointees and worker bees.
He's got to undo everything, and it's like, some things can't be undone.
We have to undo everything because they are like the marbling in meat. They are ingrained in the fiber of the culture mm-hmm. of the DOJ now. He's so weaponized the DOJ to protect him against all of his sins and crimes and acts of treason and collusion with Russia. It's incredible. Biden is now currently trying to assemble a coalition of our allies in order to fight against Russia and China with regard to not just the cyber attacks that are going on, but the actual physical gearing up that they are trying to do to bully all of their neighbors into a more autocratic and fascist state, which is what they're all about.
Yeah,
so there's a huge amount of things that are being done. It's unfortunate that obviously there's no perfect administration. And as the Biden administration tries to move forward and get things accomplished, people that are laser focused on their one singular issue that they are most concerned about are feeling that not enough is being done in those specific areas when you have to remember there's an enormous broad spectrum that has to be addressed.
And undone.
Like
undone too.
And like turning the Titanic away from an iceberg, there's a lot of things that go into it, and there's a slow response with regard to all of the stuff that's going on because of the fact that the previous administration infused it with so many corrupt criminals.
Absolutely.
And people that are of basically the Fourth Reich ilk that he was trying to perpetuate and go forward with. We'd have been in so much trouble if he got reelected.
I think it's over. As T points out, it's like a mob. Trump's calling the shots from behind the scenes now. And absolutely. So yeah, Don, so you answered my question very honestly. Colonel Don, I sure appreciate you. This is really, really scary. I don't know that people in general quite understand just how scary this is. I don't know.
You're absolutely right. It's extremely scary, and they are well organized, at least in some areas, because they're so passionate about their racism. The voter suppression stuff that's going on,
it's unbelievable.
And they're gerrymandering. They're increasing rather than decreasing the gerrymandering.
Right.
This has to stop. It is so essential that Manchin and Senate be turned, or that we gain seats in the 2022 election. And we need to gain them both in the House and the Senate. It can't be both. So there really needs to be a very passionate move to ensure that blue people vote in mass as much as possible. The only saving grace we have is the fact that they were in such a rush to institute these voter suppression things that some of them are going to attrit their constituency as well.
Right. They're going to
population that they count on that are solid Republican voters.
They'll end up oppressing their own.
Attrited.
Yes.
Yeah, are also going to be attrited by these new voting restrictions.
And that's a great point.
So
that's a great point. Like kind of what they ended up doing with some of the laws saying you couldn't vote by mail. Well, they kind of screwed themselves in a lot of ways. I hope so, Don. I really hope so. Some of the things that
it's amazing that they didn't realize that 90% of the military votes by mail. This sabotaging of the post office and of mail-in votes is a double-edged sword.
And has for a long time.
Always has blundered into secondary reactions or consequences that he didn't realize because he was so focused on his tactical agenda.
It backfires sometimes.
None of the strategic issues that will also be compromised were addressed at all. He's not a critical thinker. We all know that.
Well, yeah. Don, one of the things that's most disturbing is that the way he starts his propaganda campaign is through absolute outright lies. For example, when he said long ago, when he said, and we'll have to move on at some point because I can talk about this guy all day. He said that he didn't know anything about Russia and an election. Well, you see, our own Secret Service and our own FBI and everybody already knew that Russia had infiltrated 27 other countries' elections from 20, what was it? I'm trying to think of the exact dates. 2004 to 2021. I mean, we all knew that it was common knowledge. So him lying about something that was common knowledge and saying, what? Russia, huh? Was like, wow. You just can't even believe it. So the lies that people believe are a first step. And that's a lot of what I try to do in this is just to explain to people that they're believing things that are categorically 100% incorrect, historically wrong, lies. So this is tough. Propaganda.
I'm going to make one more comment and then I'll let you go. I'm going to comment about his latest speech that he made in North Carolina. And I know I already sent you this online, but I'll read it to you, my comments from that speech based on my observations so that your audience will know my assessment of what went on there. And these are bullet points. He refuses to admit that he lost. He looks and sounds worse than ever. Eric Swalwell released a statement saying that regardless of the party, we need to pray for Trump. Well, no bleeping way, because he clearly looks unwell. Well, that's tough. The Fuhrer looked visually horrific, slurred his words, stumbled through his speech, and appeared not to understand any meaning behind the word salad he was spraying around the room. the bottom line is he looked every bit like the pathetic moron being overtaken by dementia that he is.
Yeah. Goodness. This is all just really scary. And people
Very much so.
who don't want to live in the truth, live with truth, are fighting this as if it's like their life. It's just history. It's just history. It's just history. And I don't understand why people are. And real quickly, and this is off the topic a little bit, but you had sent me something that, and I don't know if it was your commentary and it was talking about don't give up. And I was hoping you could read that at some point on the show. It was, do you know what I'm talking about? It was.
I think so. I'll need to find it. I don't have it on my.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot for that now, but it would be very inappropriate for me to do so. But I want to know what the viewers think about that. It's a way to think, but it's also, I don't know if it's like something that's kind of good for people, or whether they'll take it as something that's like, God, we're human too, but I thought, I don't know if they'll take it as inspirational or what, but I'd love you to read that at some point.
Sure.
So anyway.
Well, critical thinking, situational awareness, and all of the things that tie into what is going to help us get further along to undo what the previous administration tried to drag us down into the depths on. That's all important, as well as being a champion of freedom and justice and building a more peaceful world, which is what we should all be about.
Yeah,
not all of this
the partisanship
destruction
is
of the democracy stuff and embracing
Yeah.
the autocracy and the fascist agenda that the Führer's Fourth Reich was trying to do and is still trying to influence,
absolutely
even from behind the scenes.
Absolutely, really
The
scary.
Progress on the only good news with regard to that is the progress on getting closer and closer to the indictments based on the grand juries that have been assembled
It's our only hope.
in the different jurisdictions that are going to take them down, as well as all of the other criminals that have been falling in line with them, the Matt Gateses and the Jim Jones and all of these absolute hemorrhoid knuckleheads. That guy that got sued by, who was it? Swalwell or Stiff with regard to the role that he played in assisting the insurrectionists. That is another thing that needs to go forward as well. All of these people need to basically pay the penalty for the absolute sedition and treason when we haven't even talked about General Flynn. Good grief.
Yeah, well, there's just so much. There's so much corruption, and there's so many people that need to be held accountable. It'll be detrimental if they're not. I think it really it's imperative that it happen, and I don't think it's going to happen. So I think we're seeing the end.
I'm holding out hope that it will happen. It's just taking its time, and the reason it's taking so long, I'm sure, is part of the reason is that they're trying to make sure that everything is as airtight and watertight as possible when they finally come out with their indictments, because they know what kind of backlash they're going to get. So they have to make sure that it's really going to stick, it's really going to work, they really have gotten all their ducks lined up with regard to the evidence that's going to point to the truth, indict, convict, imprison.
I hope so. Don, I want to keep hope, but it's been kind of going like consistently downhill for a while. So anyway, thank you so much for calling in. I'm going to get you back on here whenever you're feeling better. And
absolutely,
hang in there with us. We're all in this together. And I'll tell you, it's not looking great. It's not looking great. So
I'm on the mend, and you know I'll help you any way I can.
Thank you. I always like to have you. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
God bless. You continue to do a wonderful job and keep up the great work.
Thank you, Don. You're so good to me. Good night.
Bye-bye now.
Thanks.
Good night. Bye.
Bye. That was Don Crumlin, a person who comes on a lot. He's a regular. He's a colonel. He's an amazing human being and a great friend to me. And his background is, oh my goodness. He's a health and wellness expert. He has his own, I got to put up his, I try to put up his information down below so people can get it later. He's an incredible incredible amount of wisdom and knowledge. He's a colonel. He is a Black man who gets it. And it's wonderful. So let's go on. I'm going to do some comments here. I'm really happy. If you are new to being on here, watching the live show and participating, please consider, if you believe like I do, that it is way past time and detrimental to the longevity of this country as we live it now, yesterday, or whatever, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I got kicked off of Facebook for life. I sneak into my page on Facebook. It's called Angry Soccer Mom. And that is how I am on. So the only way you can reach me is through that, PMing me on my page or somehow through YouTube. I love talking to people. The people in my audience are my friends, my family. They're not just viewers. I get to know as many people as I can intimately. I love everybody, support, and I just appreciate you being here. I am incredibly lucky. So let's go on. I know there's a bunch of comments. I'm going to go through them really quickly because I want to get to some of the meat of what we have today and see what you think. Open Bob says he loves this caller. Thank you so much. I'm kind of starting the name. He is informative. He knows a lot, and he comes on all the time. Let me see. Let me see here. Dave Farley, interested that the Supreme Court 6 years ago ruled in favor of same-sex marriage, but stuck down the Voting Rights Act 2 years earlier. Yeah, I mean, we got some inconsistencies. We got some issues in this country. GETV and Soccer Mom seems like that America will be like Russia very soon. Yes, we're getting there. We're getting there. That's what the GOP wants. And apparently having 50% people who don't want it isn't enough. We have to have more to actually stop our nation from being destroyed, from going backwards. Not forming a more perfect nation, forming a more fascist nation. Taking things like voting rights away, for the love of God, it's a joke. Seriously, that's the tenet of our nation, being able to vote. It's very sick what's happened, and I did this speech last time, so I will not do it again. Bore you guys to death, but the fact is that we have a GOP that is probably the biggest threat to our country right now than anything. Our actual own citizens and the politicians who uphold the lies. They're upholding blatant lies. It's like, what are the color of the skies in your world? I want to ask. I'm so ashamed of them. So incredibly ashamed. Do I feel guilty? No. I feel disgusted, angry, and ashamed. These are fellow humans who are not acting human. And they are taking down our nation. The twilight of our democracy. We're there. And most people have no clue. I have a couple videos I'm going to put on after today's show, showing the police officer Sicknick, who was killed in the January 6th. One of them shows his partner, his long-term partner. They were both Trump fans. They were all the way, the blue line, Trump all the way. And she's furious now about what's happening. And I'm going to put a video up like that. And I was very fascinated by it. I have 3 videos actually I'm going to put on tonight. So I'm going to be up late tonight. Let me get onto this. I believe they're so racist that they don't really know that their culture is racism. They say that as normal. It's actually racism. Right. We're disillusioned. We know not what we speak. Very true. Good point. Thanks, T. Dave. I see a lot of nasty little attacks from the right online and in person when Black Lives Matter holds rallies than I do spreading homophobic stuff. Yeah, we've had a historical hatred in humanity because it's almost a hatred. It's a self-hatred, but thrown back at the people who are the ones that we have abused. It's a very strange psychological dynamic, and I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but geez Louise, it's a real sick dynamic we have going here. Blaming the victim, blaming the people that we, as a collective, as white people, collectively harmed and are still harming, blaming them for our problems. It's Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow, says it all. All right, we'll take some more comments and then move on. Yes, we are a racist country, says Dave. I'm not running for president and I don't have to sugarcoat anything. That's right. I know that's right. Nobody pays me to be on here, so I can say what I want. It's called the truth. Thank you. T. Rogers, where's the patriotism now since they're not making it more difficult, since they are not making it more difficult for the military to vote? Are you saying, where's their patriotism now? They are making it more difficult for military people to vote. I think might be what you're saying. Maybe I don't want to correct you. Yeah, not so patriotic of a thing to do, is it? I think that's what you're saying. I could be wrong. Correct me at the bottom. I'll catch right up to you. Oh, okay. You already corrected it. Yes. Okay. I mean, now instead of not. Yes. Since they're now making it, gotcha. Okay. We are as one, my friend. Okay. Got it. GETV, it looks like the Republicans would rather shoot themselves in the foot and believe the lie rather than admit the truth about their incompetent ex-president. Yep. 100%. 100%. Kim did GETV. Kim did the interview earlier of one of the police officers at the Capitol. He was asked a question in an interview, is the Capitol safe? He said, after a long pause, he now qualified. He qualified the answer. Yeah. It's not. Things are crazy. So I made it to the bottom. Let's get on to some. Thank you so much for all your incredible comments. It was great to have Don call in. So I was talking before the 2 videos that I did on using young little precious little infants to make a profit. It's vile and barbaric. And next, I also did a video this week about what else did I do? Oh my gosh, I put a lot on this week. One of the things, if you haven't seen one of the videos that all of a sudden started doing well, which I was thrilled, it was a top 10 video, and I'm starting to do more top 10 videos. So I sure appreciate people supporting that. It's an easier format for people to understand. I blab less. I'm more concise. Yes, I said concise. Tonight's topics. These are what I have planned, and we can talk about anything you want. I don't have a ton planned, just a few things. I wanted to talk really briefly about the retired vet that was cut off at Memorial Day, a little bit more about that. I have talked about that already. His mic was cut off. And since then, the person who did that has resigned, but I'd like to talk a little bit more about that because that was a white guy. He just was trying to tell the history. We do seem to be getting to understand things better, us white folks, but our divide seems to be getting worse as well. And that's not just my opinion. I was reading about that from some professionals who do this for a living and make policy and do political commentaries. And I kind of agree with that. The second topic I have for tonight is the Senate report, stopping short of the truth, stopping short of including Trump. And the third thing, Louisiana police, Baton Rouge, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Can't say I'm shocked. The police group or unit that murdered Ronald Green is being investigated. And they've been doing some very, very, very bad things. And Ronald Green is included. But I wanted to start with a quick rant, and it's a mix of somebody's opinion and my commentary over it. I'll make it fast. And I guess today's chat is a little bit of a downer. Today's show is because I really feel like we're going further and further down. People are believing lies. They're believing like incredible lies that anyone could figure out that they're lies, but they're still going for it. So the odds of getting the voting rights legislation through Congress that we need to protect our human and civil rights in America, it's looking pretty slim. Joe Manchin is on the wrong side of history. And instead of a rant, I want to pull from an opinion piece by a man named Jamal Bowman from the CNN Opinions, the opinions section. It is not an understatement to say we're facing a crisis of democracy and have been for quite some time. At a time when Republican legislators are banning people from handing water to voters in line, oh my God. Closing down polls, polling places, restricting absentee voting. Democrats need to get our shit together, in my opinion. We got to unite and take bold action. Why are we playing nice? I don't know. Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia doesn't seem to see it that way. Apparently, I personally believe he's going to be incredibly famous. Joe Manchin's going to be a very, very famous man, but not for a good thing. I believe he will become famous, and this is my personal opinion, in the history books for helping destroy our nation's democratic republic. His name will be synonymous with this. This week, he wrote that he opposes the For the People Act, which is desperately needed voting rights legislation to push back on a nationwide attempt to suppress the vote. Very, very anti-democratic. That's the core of our democratic republic, I believe. This is urgent legislation, especially as hundreds of Republican voter suppression bills are being introduced across 48 states. Let me say that one more time. Voter suppression bills. It's unbelievable. In other words, states are creating ways to make it purposefully, knowingly harder to vote. Citizens of the United States are allowed to vote. It's in our, it's our rights. So they are trying to stop our rights. And this is one of the main reasons I say we are really not looking so good here. I believe that Manchin is just making a lame excuse to suck up to the Republicans in his state. I don't know what he's doing. He's I think it's very, very un-American, very cowardly. And that I cannot chastise him enough for what he's doing. This is not a controversial issue. There is a coordinated effort by the GOP to bring back Jim Crow-like laws, okay, in 2021. We need to see this as an emergency. There's just too many people are tired. They're exhausted for fighting, not for forming a more perfect union, but just trying to keep basic human and civil rights that maybe we've just taken for granted. Elected Republicans very much know that ensuring that Black people and people of color, making sure that they can vote would damage, be bad for the GOP and their agenda, which is basically kowtowing to the privileged corporations and very, very wealthy people. So they are doing anything in their power to go against our Constitution. I consider the GOP to be our number one threat against democracy. Hands down. There's not even close. Not even close. Black and brown people have been here before. So what kind of bullshit is this they're getting away with? They are literally getting away with destroying, circumventing the spirit of our Constitution. Not too long ago in this country, someone who, brown and black people were forced, if they wanted to vote, to deal with the Ku Klux Klan, a mob of white supremacist lunatics who purposely, knowingly would try to scare people away from having their human and civil rights in this country. Jim Crow is back in 2021, and a lot of us are just kind of watching it happen because, not our business, is it? Oh, yes, it is so our business. It's unbelievable. You do not just sit there. Yeah, we were all born into this, but you do not just sit there and watch incredible, inhumane, things that are just unconscionable, watching our nation be destroyed and our fellow humans losing their rights and do nothing. If we've ever learned a thing about history, we know that it doesn't go well. Our group's next. Literacy tests, poll taxes. Paying, I consider closing down booths and making people who are either black, brown, indigenous, or, it's also like Colonel Don said, it's going to hit white folks too, because much more numerically speaking, our white folks are impoverished than any other group. And I think, I can only hope that it does, because they also seem to be the group that doesn't get it and votes against their own best interest. The GOP is not in their best interest. Being racist as hell is not in their own best interest, but we don't seem to get it. So, holding out for a wave of Republicans to suddenly change their mind and switch and decide that if we switch a few things about the voting rights, maybe it'll pass. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Does this senior senator from West Virginia care more about, I think he cares more about his own longevity in Congress than keeping some version of what we call a Democratic Republic. I don't know. Democracy is fragile. We've taken it for granted. And right now, ours is hanging by a thread. And it's surreal and terrifying. And that is my rant. My rant's more like a cry. Call it the cry. But let me take some comments. Oh, Don, Manchin accepted a huge donation from surviving Koch brothers. Charles David Koch, who died in August 2019, was even worse than Charles. Yeah, see, people, greed over humans. Greed over humans it's really bad. So let me go back and see what we have here. Okay, I have some news to be noted, and some of it's actually kind of good. Okay, maybe one of it's good. Simone Biles won her 7th U.S. gymnastics championship, and she is currently tied, winning the most titles with a record from 1952, where the last person, tied her in 1952. So, and that young lady has many, many more to come. And so she is going to hold the record quite soon. And it's wonderful news. She's incredible. She's amazing. And she should be celebrated. Very, very happy for her and her family and all her fans. News to be noted. This is so strange to me because I don't really get this whole resigning. But a principal resigned after white students reenacted George Floyd's murder online. Now, that's just news to be noted because I read the article 3 times and I was like, we need details. Why did she resign? Was she ignoring the fact that this kind of thing is going on at her school? Was she allowing for racism to thrive and continue? I don't know. So that's something you might want to look into. News to be noted are just things that I didn't get to that you might want to look up. The thing is, it's a really strange situation. And I'm probably going to read more about this. A number of these Meade High School students asked if the 3 students who did this could be expelled, but they were just suspended. And, I'm sorry, we're in an age of incredible communication technology. If you want to know the truth, if you want to learn how to treat your fellow humans right, if you want to know what anti-racism is, you can do it. Being racist as fuck is a choice, even for little school children. Clearly, school children are influenced by many, many things, and are very immature. And I'm not saying people can't change and grow, because I absolutely can. But in this day and age, wow, that is a lot of nerve for somebody to do that. News to be noted, okay, so the first thing was a good thing with Simone. Everything else sucks. But number 3, my last one, news to be noted. A Rhode Island woman who was convicted of disorderly conduct, charges by harassing a Black family at a restaurant. But the judge did not include it as a hate crime. She was incredibly hateful. It was the textbook dictionary definition of a hate crime. So, people, this is really bad. Really, really bad. Like you need me to tell you. So please be aware. Let me just take some comments. GETV, I believe that this country of America is going to have another civil war to get through the divisions that are going on in America. What do you think? I think we are in it right now. We're at the kind of pre-war part. I truly believe that we're in a post-truth era, and that our constituency, as a national population, has gotten to the point where we are pretty much unwilling to use critical thinking skills in any kind of practical purpose and way. I think an uneducated populace is an incredible danger. But I also, like I said last time in one of my rants, there's something more to that, because there are a lot of people who are educated who are following outright categorical lies about things that are very easily proven. I mean, it's almost like we've been indoctrinated. And, if you think about it, Trump did follow suit with how many of the dictators have indoctrinated. I mean, lying and saying the press is wrong. And, he's gone through, so many steps. He's followed in their footsteps almost exactly of some of the most successful fascists and dictators. He's not really shy about that either. He's kind of like looks up to them, So he has learned well about indoctrinating. He's a mob boss. He's, I don't want to get into this, but you know what I mean? If you vote for a person whose overall character is completely inhumane and immoral, we're not privy to every decision he makes before he went into office. We're voting for a person whose overall substance is lacking in personal integrity, is overtly racist, is overtly bigoted, is a misogynist, is incredibly greedy and money hungry and corrupt. What exactly did we think was going to happen? I mean, seriously? Every single decision he makes comes from the core of his being. Maybe not him, but okay, it comes from him, is based on his overall inability to be human and act in the best interest of humans and be a good person. So what did we expect? There's tons of decisions he's made that we would never have knowledge about, but they're based on his hatred. He's been consistent, if nothing else, consistent. He's a cruel wannabe fascist. And that is absolutely been the consistent part of who he is, which is terrifying. There's no excuse. This nation brought him in, and I just didn't realize how effective he would be at being, but hey, that's me. Keeping hope till the last moment. Let me take comments. Let me see here. Garrick, the Koch brothers' father, Frederick Koch, was one of the founding fathers of the John Birch Society. Oh, yes. And Orange County, California, which was very segregated. It was a sundown area and still has its racism. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Orange County is amazing, and not in a good way. California, been there. Garrick, yes. And thank you for being here, Garrick. Garrick's very, very knowledgeable, and I'm hoping to get him in an interview to shed some wisdom and teach us. T, it's always been agreed since the very beginning. Yep. And T, very proud of Simone Biles. I know, it's such a great accomplishment. Wonderful. Great athlete, GETV, absolutely. Garrick, in Orange County today, the Klan wears suits and ties, dresses and pantsuits. They are the political law and other professions. It's like snakes. Not every venomous snake rattles. Excellent point. And we are seeing that. Yeah, the Klan are our doctors and lawyers and politicians and teachers. We all know this now. I don't know if it's too late or what, but let me see. Thank you, Garrick, for excellent points. T, in our legal system in America, they are so ignorant about what racism is that they only consider it a hate crime when someone is being overtly racist, as if the microaggressions don't count. Right. I mean, we're just so incredibly uneducated as white folks, and in general in society, we're so uneducated. We're still looking for the burning crosses on the lawn and the N-word being spewed. I'm sorry. Racism has become a little more sophisticated than that. Sure, we still have that. Oh, yes, we do. But it's become much more sophisticated over time, trying to be more covert and more PC with dog whistles and lies and twists and, talk about twists. I put up a video this last week, a little commentating over Tucker Carlson, which I've never done, but I'm going to start doing little commentaries. Tucker Carlson admitted what a racist little, what, all the GOP is. And he admitted it by making racist people mean white GOP men, which Biden never said. It was in a commentary about Biden's speech on Memorial Day, and it was like, damn, he turned his own, he basically admitted that GOP white men are racist as hell. I mean, it was so crazy. He's off his rocker. Let me see. Here. T, it's the underlying silent racism that is the problem. That is what needs to be addressed. Absolutely. It's not the Klan people. We see them, and even their own people are kind of like, damn. No, it's the silent people who hold just as much racism in their heart, who do either absolutely nothing to stop it, or who silently uphold it, keeping their little nose clean, but very much loving it. White folks, systemic racism does not benefit us either. We are destroying our chances at ever making ends meet in this country. Unless you're a gazillionaire, it is not in your best interest at this time or ever to be racist. The biggest fear of the wealthy elite is that we will come to our senses and we will unite and support, not lead, not be the great person with their picture on Facebook, but support our brothers and sisters who are Black, brown, and indigenous in uniting together. That is the biggest fear of the wealthiest elites. Why do you think it's so damn hard to just get by in America? In the wealthiest country in the world, why do you think we have to pay exorbitant prices just to get healthcare that every other, every other country in the West has. Yet when a war comes up, oh my God, we come up with money. Hell, even a military parade, we come up with billions of dollars for that. But our health, I really want to play that video it's a top 10. What it is the top 10 beliefs that white people keep that keep us racist and poor. And if you haven't seen it, it's the truth. I just put it in top 10, and I hope you guys can see that, because we are hurting ourselves. White people are destroying our democratic republic. It's us. And I don't get it. So I'm blabbing. Let me see here. T, another great point. The microaggressions cause the over racism because the true racism is systemic. Absolutely. You have to pull out the root in order to kill the whole tree. Yeah, we need to get to the root of this. Great points, T. Thank you. Garrick, with Trump, they knew what they voted for and got more than they bargained for. It was a backlash for having a black president. The irony is President Obama's worst days were better than absolutely better than any of Trump's. Absolutely. Trump's a monster. He's an inhumane, racist, bigoted, misogynistic monster who is still in charge right now of our nation for all practical purposes. T, did y'all see that Chris Harrison from? No, I didn't. Wait, did y'all see that Chris Harrison, the host of The Bachelor, stepped down? Yes, I did. And he's still clueless about what racism is. Yes, I saw that. I don't watch that show, but I saw that on the news and like, ay. Garrick. Yeah, people are just to be clueless in this day and age is kind of, willful ignorance, don't you think? I mean, we have this thing called Google. You can learn everything you want to learn, and then more, and then some, and join groups and talk to people and come to live shows. There's no excuse. It's willful ignorance. People don't want to know the truth. And I don't really get that. It's something about our self-esteem, our fragility, I don't know, but it's really bad. Garrick, with racism, it's people's arrogance and self-righteousness. Oh my gosh, you heard what I said. It is. America has been coddled and enabled being racist. Now that the problem has exponentially grown, the country realizes how much work it needs. Yeah, and absolutely. Great points. T. Okay, I already read that one. Oh, play the video. I don't have it set up to play. I want to play it, but you know what? I have so much for us to talk about. Maybe I can. I can play the video, but the only problem is I can't really show it very easily right now because I'm on the wrong system. But thank you, T. It's you know what I can do though? I can bring it up and just put it on here if you guys want to see it. It's just, I think it's one of my better ones, but it's just me. I've had some of my videos that I thought were like some of my best ones get zero attention. So, you never know. I'll find it right now. I will find it. It'll take me just 1 second. And maybe I can play it if you can hear it. But interestingly, found it. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, there's a commercial. Little commercial going on here, and then we'll get rid of it. And this is a video of lies we believe that keep us racist. Top 10 lies we believe that keep us racist. And it's on my channel. I will play it right now. If you could bear with me, I would love it. And while I'm playing it, please consider clicking on the thumbs up, making comments, sending people the live show. The more people I get on here, the better it is for the algorithm for YouTube which I don't know that algorithm, but I'm trying, to get white folks to see the videos and to try to learn our real racial history, at least, pay attention, and maybe 10 other people will bombard them. And someday, I don't know, it's crazy. All right, here it is. This is just please let me know if you can't hear this. Okay. This is just a commercial. Skip.
White people are unaware that race is a human construct and it keeps its power because the majority of the people continue to support misinformation. The idea of race was created by white people to divide and devalue for use in structural oppression. The only biological origins that race has is the ones that white people have awarded it. White people are so defensive when we talk about racism, it's nearly impossible to hold a meaningful conversation. We think it's about us personally. It's actually about a system that we were all born into. We didn't invent the system, but we can help dismantle it by lowering our guard and learning the truth about our real racial history so we can teach other white people. White people believe that systemic racism is a naturally occurring, inevitable phenomenon. But systemic racism in America was deliberately invented and designed to ensure that the accumulation of generational wealth for Black people would be significantly harder to obtain, if not impossible. For example, the impact of redlining over decades and decades at the city, state, and federal level has a huge impact even today, with a lack of investment in infrastructure. And on top of that, city and state school tax codes get their money from the businesses around them. If property values are low, it makes for incredibly impoverished schools where giving a great education is nearly impossible. We believe all Americans have an equal chance of success if we have a talent and work hard. This meritocracy myth is being exposed more than ever today. Success in America is not based solely on a person's ability and talent, but rather on a number of complex things like class, privilege, wealth, and who you know. Systemic racism is all about who holds the power over who gets access to the resources necessary to succeed in a capitalist economy. The racial wage gap shows that for every $100 a white family has, a Black family only has $10. We think of racism as simply someone who dislikes somebody because of their skin color. But this view is an unsophisticated and outdated definition. Today's racism is covert and riddled with deniability. It changes and morphs over time in order to remain an unspoken but ever-present cultural indoctrination. White people are not aware of the deceptive laws formulated using false information in order to justify circumventing the spirit of the Constitution and thwarting human rights. Voting rights for Blacks is an example of how racism can change in form. The 15th Amendment gave Black men the right to vote, but then grandfather clauses were passed, which kept former enslaved humans and their descendants from voting. Next came Jim Crow, literacy tests, poll taxes, and other legal obstacles to vote. Then in 2013, the Supreme Court of the United States struck down the spirit of the Voting Rights Act by making voters be the ones who had to bear the burden of proving they had been discriminated against. Before the Voting Rights Act was gutted, the burden was on the state to prove beforehand that any voting changes would not disenfranchise. Despite multiple court rulings saying that we don't have an election fraud problem in America, a number of states decided to pass laws closing polling places and implementing unnecessarily expensive and time-consuming proof of citizenship requirements in Black communities. States implemented mail-in voting restrictions. They closed down essential businesses where citizens could get the ID necessary to vote. They had voting deadlines reduced, DMVs closed, ballot boxes removed, and Black voters were purged off registration lists. We blindly believe the propaganda we see in the media, and we don't understand that the fairness doctrine does not exist anymore. The fact is, we will follow a station that has only our views and no counterpoints. The problem is, the media is a business whose number one objective is to make a profit, not to take a moral high ground. Fox News is considered entertainment TV in Canada and not actual news. In fact, a Manhattan judge tossed out a defamation lawsuit against Fox News, stating that no reasonable person could possibly believe them. 3 out of every 4 white Americans do not have a single close friend who isn't white just like them. So our knowledge of Black culture is viewed through the lens of propaganda and for-profit corporations. We believe that racism is something done intentionally. White people generally do not see ourselves in racial terms. There is the normal, which is us, and everyone else is the exception. In order for us to participate in cross-cultural learning, we have to be able to handle seeing ourselves racially. We don't know our own racial history, so we're not aware of the centuries of legal ways white America has historically, purposefully denied Black people the ability to accumulate generational wealth. We're unaware that our history classes in school were whitewashed, and so we got the abridged version of what really happened. We don't know about the horrific events that took place after emancipation, such as rednutting, sundown towns, systemic lynchings, the Devil's Punch Bowl, various forms of Black Wall Street massacres, Black codes, extreme segregation in every facet of life.
If you believe like I do that it's way past time for...
Okay, I'll shut up. Thanks for bearing that. That's the video. It's a lot better if you actually see it because I have all these little silly X's and whatnot. If you guys are up for it, I would like to quickly go over some of these things, and I want to know what you think. I really do. In Hudson, Ohio, organizers of a Memorial Day ceremony turned off the microphone of this former U.S. Army man who was a veteran, an elderly man. He was talking about how freed slaves, freed humans who were enslaved, okay, and pushed into a status, forced into a non-humane status, that he was talking about, that they were the ones who started Memorial Day, the origins of Memorial Day. Organizers of the Memorial Day ceremony turned off the speaker's microphone when the former U.S. Army officer began talking about how freed enslaved humans who were Black had honored fallen soldiers. Soon after the Civil War, retired Lieutenant Colonel Barnard Kempter, who spent 30 years in the Army and served in the Persian Gulf War, said he included the story in his speech because he wanted to share the history of Memorial Day and how it was originated. So what happened was the people in charge of this cut him off. And at first, he thought it was an accident. And this is just for people who didn't hear the story. He thought, like, hello, he's tapping on his mic going, hello, hello. And they didn't even deny it. They admitted they turned off his microphone on purpose. This is a decorated veteran soldier, an elderly man. Oh my God, it was so obnoxious. When I first saw the headlines, I thought, oh, maybe, even I, as this, always hoping for the best, maybe it was an accident. No, they admitted it. The people in charge admitted they purposely turned it off. I mean, it's surreal. They admitted turning it off and citing that the organizers of the ceremony said that the speech wasn't relevant to the program theme of honoring the city's veterans. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Let's be real here. This was incredibly a racist move. Hands down. Everything, just please. My guess is simply this, and it's more than a guess. It's a rather educated one. I hate to toot my own horn here, but I'm sorry. The people in charge didn't like the idea that Black people were getting credit for this incredibly important American holiday. That's all I can think of. The lady resigned her position as the head of this league, but damn. I mean, and this guy was a white dude. You'd think, oh, well, he's a Black dude, so maybe they think they can get away with it. No, this guy's a white dude. So they don't even want white folks talking about this shit now. The truth. So this is crazy, people. Just crazy. T, you remember that? Thank you. Yeah, unbelievable. The January 6th report, or lack thereof. The Senate report, or lack thereof, came out this week. It detailed the broad failures of January the 6th attack. No shit, Sherlock. Sorry. I'm sorry. And the reason I'm saying this is because you and I knew at a time we read it online. I'm sorry. I call bullshit. Sorry. I'm not buying it. We knew what was going to happen. Something bad could happen. I know I'm not privy to any more information than anyone else is, for God's sakes. We knew ahead of time, but our own federal government professionals don't. Yeah, I feel safe. Not. Oh, yes. Oh, this is for the other one. T. I posted an article on Facebook about how Memorial Day was started, and they flagged it saying it was partly false. Interesting. Damn. Not surprising. Not surprising, but interesting. Ugh. Mark Zuckerberg. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Don't even get me triggered, Garrick. They act like they had something to hide about cutting that veteran off at the microphone. Racism will trash anyone who speaks. Racism will trash anyone who speaks against it. You know, it was so strange. It was almost like they did more damage to their cause of white supremacy by cutting him off. He was disgusted. And he was really vocal about it. And I was really proud. I was really proud of him, what he did. He's not my child, but I was really proud to see an elderly white man speak the truth. He was up there excited to tell about it, and they cut him off. And it's really strange because they cut him off. They didn't just cut him off right when he started talking about it. They kind of let him. It was perfect. I think that their attempt to be racist as fuck backfired, in my humble, sometimes not so humble opinion. I think that it backfired like crazy because they let him tell half the story. So we knew what he was talking about. I was like, oh, this is very interesting. And then all of a sudden his microphone went out. And I was like, damn. So, this censorship of the truth in this post truth era is really out of control. Yep, they sure did have something to hide called the truth. Good point, Garrick. T, they don't like Black folks getting credit for anything. Yeah, it's like, damn. And I thought the lady will deny it. She'll say, oh, no, it was a mistake in that. No, she admitted it. We cut him off. At least she admitted it. I honestly, I have a lot more respect, not respect, but a lot more, which I have none, respect for an overt racist who speaks the truth, because at least we know who they are, than someone who says, the wire I don't know what happened. It's like this person admitted that she cut off a man talking about the origins of Memorial Day because she didn't want to hear it. And she didn't want other people to hear it. So we got some serious, Anyway, great comments. So this Senate supposed report came out this week. It detailed the broad failures. It's detailed the broad failures, but as a supposed bipartisan effort, the report did not delve into the root cause of the attack. Achoo! Federal government, Trump. It does not include Trump's role, as he called for his supporters, let me just scooch this over, to fight like hell to overturn his election defeat that day. Something that was called the most secure election in the history of the United States. I don't understand why that's not treasonous. They went and they did exactly what he said. They fought like hell. It doesn't call the attack an insurrection, even though it was. All this comes 2 weeks after Republicans blocked a bipartisan independent commission that would investigate the insurrection more broadly. Oh my God, this is unbelievable in my mind that we're letting them get away with this. It's unbelievable. We're letting them get away with not even examining Trump and his clan's role in this. It's unbelievable. I keep saying unbelievable because I don't know whether I need a bigger vocabulary. I need more words that mean unbelievable that are a little more technical. Schumer, a Democrat from New York, is actually one of my senators, who is the Senate Majority Leader since January 2021, is a member of the Democratic Party. He says, as the big lie continues, this is a quote from him, continue to spread as our faith in our elections continue to decline, it is crucial that we establish a trusted independent record of what transpired. Yeah, you think? Like I said, I'll be putting this up after our show tonight. A very interesting, very angry significant other of Brian Sicknick, who was in my mind murdered by white supremacists because he was a police officer they considered to go against them. It's just really unbelievable. Post-truth era, what can I say? The truth really doesn't matter anymore. It's so scary. Speaking on the Senate floor Tuesday, Chuck Schumer argued that the report strengthened the argument for appointing an independent commission because of the glaring absence of any serious examination of Trump's role. So this Senate report, he's saying, is basically more proof that we really need a commission. I don't think there's even a question. We had white supremacists try to stop an American election. What I guess they thought they were. Threatened to murder our government, politicians, and we're not going to have an inquiry on it. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because yeah, this nation's going down. Unbelievable. I'm so sad. I'm laughing because I'm just going to cry. Really sad. I really thought we had a chance of forming a more perfect union, but I don't think so. Trump and his fellow Klan members are clearly above the law. No consequences. They're above the law. Last, Louisiana police. Gee, shock of shocks. Not. Louisiana police, the ones that are being investigated. Let me just get there we go. They're being investigated. The same group that hurt Mr. Green and pretended, Louisiana State Police investigators are targeting Black motorists and abusing the living shit out of them. And they're getting investigated. The panel began working a few weeks ago, and they had thousands of body camera videos to go over the past 2 years, involving a ton, actually dozens of white troopers. And so this is the Green investigation, but more, the same Louisiana police unit whose troopers told a relative that he died in a car crash, but who really, they stun gun him, they punched him, they dragged him around Green on a video, and they murdered him. And they killed him. They murdered him in a deadly 2019 arrest. They're now under serious internal investigation by a secret panel over whether or not its officers are systemically targeting Black motorists for abuse. Now, I don't think any sane person would question whether they're not. Yeah, they are. Oh, yeah, they are. But obviously, we have to prove it. The panel, whose existence was confirmed by the Associated Press, was set up in response to Green's death, as well as 3 other incidences of stopping Black men. One was obviously Green, who they told his family he died in a car crash. Oh, my God. That's just, oh, my God. They can go straight to hell for that. That's unbelievable. One who was punched, stunned, and hoisted to his feet by his hair braids in a body camera video obtained by the Associated Press. Another who was beaten after he was handcuffed. And another who was slammed 18 times with a flashlight, cracked his freaking head open, almost killed him. A flashlight that was meant to break glass. It's a special flashlight. Think about what a police unit who lied to relatives saying their son died in a car crash and refused to release video footage for 2 years on how they murdered him. Just think of what they've done to other people. I mean, when no one's watching, when the cameras are somehow turned off, this is terrifying. And this is exactly what Colin Kaepernick is talking about. This is what Black Lives Matter is talking about. This is it. It's the real thing. I can't not imagine how many people have been hurt by them. I can't imagine. Garrick, what was interesting, these were also military and law enforcement, for the insurrection, who were at the insurrection. They literally had insiders who looked the other way and were looked the other way. We are finding out as more arrests are being made. Yeah, absolutely. And one guy, I can't remember the state he's from. I have another video I'm going to put on, 3 videos after this that you have to see. They found evidence that one of these guys, I think it was in Oregon, don't quote me, who let people into the Oregon State House, who were basically come in with like weapons and rioting. He set it up ahead of time. I'll show you the video. You won't believe it. Everybody knew he did it because they caught him on video. He's a politician who let them in. They weren't supposed to be in there. He let them in a secret door. He had set it up ahead of time. And the film came out, like, I think it was today. So look for videos. Oh my God. I don't know if this was like heavily covered, but I was following the case. And when I saw it, I'm like, dang, that's even worse. He opened the door for them and pretended he had to leave, but it was all purposeful. He had them call him when they were coming. So this guy is so in trouble. Oh my God. Anyway, Garrett, these Louisiana officers are the Mark Furmans without a televised OJ trial. Yeah, the media whitewashed him. As you look into the internal affairs history, he was committing brutality and setting up people. Yep, you're right. They were basically a gang of white supremacists, what it just sounds like, who went around strutting their stuff and killing, murdering, abusing, and terrorizing Black people. You guys, I do not think this is a rarity. We have a system in place in the United States that is so corrupt. Even high schoolers and middle schoolers know what the blue line is, the blue wall. They know what it is. It means that corrupt police are their partners in their precincts, and their fellow officers will cover for them and hide their corruption so they can be corrupt as hell against our own citizens who pay their salaries. It's all in the open. It is, I don't have any words for it. We all know about it. We all know it's wrong. Yet this is the culture of police today and has always been. This is actually probably better than it's been in the past. And this is pretty messed up. Yeah, you think? Police today are and have always been the gatekeepers of systemic racism. Unbelievable. Okay, last story, I swear. And this was something that hit me. I can't put the video for this next story up because it has a little boy in it, and YouTube got sued for putting children up, so they're very sensitive to it, understandably so. This kid was so damn cute. I'm just saying. I love kids. Obviously, I'm a teacher. I was an elementary school teacher for a long time. This kid was adorable. I'm so glad that he lived. Caucasians don't believe in the truth. It would appear, in general. Yes, it would appear. GETV. Yeah. Okay, here's a story about this little boy. I'm so glad he has a good dad. I saw his dad's interview. I can't post it. Garrick, what was ironic is that the other police who speak against the injustice face retaliation. Oh, absolutely. Right. If you're police, I have a couple videos up on that too. If you're a police officer and you dare to be honest, you are dead. Your job is over. You are not safe. It's unbelievable. And we all know this. This even people who like little kids. I'm guessing 12 and up, most kids probably know this. All kids. It's what we do. And we call other countries corrupt. Oh my God. How can you be so happy and excited to kill? I don't get it. It's like, I have no answers. So check this out. This little baby boy, oh my God, was he adorable. And, just so they interviewed him and he was so cute. A suburban Detroit 6-year-old little black boy was shot. This little kid was shot, and they have it on video, by a neighbor as he went to grab his tricycle. Like a kid who doesn't ride a two-wheeler yet because he's too tiny, too little. He was picking up his tricycle off the neighbor's lawn. All the kids were picking up their bikes. They'd left their bikes and they were playing. It was multicultural street. It was white kids, black kids, brown kids. They were all getting their bikes. A bunch of little kids playing together. The parents were out watching them from their neighborhood. And this kid's playing with his friends in the neighborhood. And the neighbor went after him with a sledgehammer. The little boy ran and the man shot him. The man shot this child, a baby. And the bond was set so low that the shooter was out in a couple days. $10,000. The man had a history of not interacting well with the neighbors before. You think? They shot someone's baby on purpose, absolutely on purpose, knowingly. The young boy's father is terrified for his family. The man purposely shot this kid who is probably just finishing kindergarten. And the dad had filed an emergency motion to raise the bond, but they let him out. They let him free. He lives next door. They said not to go to your house, but what's the guy going to do? Who's going to stop him? Let me see if there's any more comments. I just wanted to close tonight by saying thank you so much to everybody for being here. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to get into, but it's very complicated. A lot of this stuff, I just don't want to talk about anything. I want to know what I'm talking about. So I really have to do some studying. There's some serious stuff going down, but I cannot thank you enough for being here and for your great comments. And if you believe like I do that it is way past time for white America to learn our real racial history and step up and support our brothers and sisters who are Black, brown, and indigenous. Please consider subscribing. Please watch the videos. I have 3 more to put up. I'll put them up as fast as possible tonight, and then I'll probably finish them up tomorrow, so they might not have great thumbnails, but I know you won't care. Just 3 videos that might be of interest to you. They were of interest to me. So thank you so much for watching. Please spread the word about the live shows, and anytime you spread a video of mine, I am appreciative because that means it gets to more white folks. Okay. And please don't be a stranger. Don't be afraid to call in. I will see you, and do not be afraid. Don't be afraid to PM me. Okay. This country is really, really in trouble. I don't mean to sound negative, but just kind of being honest. Don't want to be the downer where no one wants to hear the truth. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for caring so much about your fellow humans. All right. And hopefully I will see you next Wednesday at 9. And if you want to come on the show, give me a call. Oh, Carrie Beck, thank you so much for being here. Yay, you're still here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait to get back in touch with you. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And okie dokie. Bye, GETV. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, T. Garrick, thank you for being here. And Carrie Beck, thank you so much. And who else can I say? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully I will I know I'm skipping like everybody. I'm going to have dinner, so I'll be really happy. I'll be much more with it. Have a great night, you guys. And please be safe. This is nuts. All right. Good night, everybody.